Let's talk NASCAR, everybody. Really quickly before we go over Pocono last week and look forward to our race this Sunday, the Cookout 400 at Richmond. Let's talk about where we can find each other. www.tigerbombsae.com. That is the website. You can go there and listen to this Pit Row podcast. There's a page. You click on the Pit Row page. You can listen there. You can even watch the YouTube video there if you want, or just search in YouTube for Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. That's also what you're going to use if you want to search for us on social media. Twitter, Facebook, use that Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. That's also how you're going to find us if you want to find us wherever you listen to your podcast. So iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple, Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. Like and subscribe. You will be able to get notified when you get new episodes of Pit Row, but also the other episodes or other podcasts that we do here at Tiger Bomb. If you're into fantasy baseball, true crime, things like that, we got something for you. So you may want to check out some of those other things. All right, that's how we stay connected. Folks, we're marching towards the playoffs and things are getting dicey. A lot of guys get nervous. So we're getting a little more excitement on the track. Let's revisit the highpoint.com 400 at Pocono Raceway last weekend. So we get a race on the weekend. Rain won't stop this one. We're green. Elliott had to make adjustments. So his team is starting at the back. We all assumed Chase Elliott would be in the playoffs, be in the playoff hunt. He's still in the hunt, but he's looking on the outside in. He's going to need a win, just like his teammate over at Hendrick Bowman. But he started in the back because of adjustments pre-race. Now, Rowdy Kyle Busch also further back than expected. You would expect, based on his history at the track at Pocono, that he would have qualified more towards the front. That is not what we saw. Would foreshadow his day. 3 wide in the turn one right away after the green. Byron takes the outside lane, single file first 3. Byron, Truex, Logano, Harvick. Ty Gibbs kissing the wall a bit. That'll slow him up and move him back. And then we finally get a caution. The 15 of J.J. Yeley gets into the wall and he spins off turn 1. And so we go green again now. So much traffic on the restart. Cars fan out everywhere all over the track. 3 wide into the tunnel for second now at this point. That gives Logano nearly a second lead on the pack as they fight for second. So the order becomes Logano, Larson, Byron, Harvick, Truex, Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Reddick, and then Allmendinger rounding that out. Bubba Wallace is 13. Keeping my eye on him all day. We know he's at that playoff bubble. Just inside at this point this week. They hit the wall in qualifying. So at this point, I'm looking at Pocono to see if the car has what it takes to hold up all day long. Corey LaJoie had a tire cut down, so he brings it in and he'll get 2. A bit of green flag racing here now. 6 to go in stage 1. With 4 to go, Kyle Busch came in. Slow pit stop, but he's lucky because everyone else literally brings it in. Really just Logano wants to stay out. A couple of people need the stage points at this juncture in the season, but mostly everybody brings it in. And Logano takes the stage with Truex and Hamlin behind him. McDowell got good stage points here as well. Sorely needed as he tries to secure a playoff spot. Whoa, logo radio over some tire issue. Luckily, the stage is over. They're going to have to bring it in anyway. So it's a nice break for him that they're able to claim that stage victory and then bring it in the pit road. Hamlin great off pit road. He'll pick up a couple of spots. Truex going to hold the second spot. So Byron inside, Larson outside for the green flag. 5 wide into the turn. Caution. That'll bring it out for sure. Logano, who just won the stage, involves Suarez. Big damage to the 99 front. Logo has 4 flats. Contact from Reddick sends Logo flying. So Logano and his crew working hard to see if they can get the car back to the track. We're green now. Larson inside, Byron outside. And then Austin Dillon slides around in turn 1. We get a caution, though. BJ McLeod got up into the 3. So Logano and his team at this point ready to give it a go. So we get a restart again now. And then again, a big ouchie. Larson goes around and up into the wall. Caution again. He's on the front row. Bell was pushing him. Just too much too late. Sent him up the track. Harvick and Blaney both do a great job of avoiding. Harvick's going to pit at this point. Bell, saying on the radio as much as he didn't mean to, didn't realize he was sending him up the track that much. But all these cautions at this point will create different strategies than maybe what guys have planned on throughout the field. So 20 laps through stage 2, 65 overall. Let's see if we can get through this first run. So Harvick 29th now, and then we go green. Byron and Bell up front, Bell inside. We're single file. So now the order goes Byron, Blaney, Gibbs, Brad K, Bell, Elliott, Truex, Hamlin, Bowman, Reddick, Wallace. The 2 and the 47 battling. We get some contact there. They're kissing. Gragson trying to get the 42 out of that, get out of that. Let them fight it out if they want to. Straighten yourselves out, boys. That's Gragson's thought is I'll sort of drop back and let y'all figure that one out. Kyle Busch into the wall. That'll slow him up. Problems with the wall lately, Kyle. 28 to go in the stage now. Reddick brings it in with 22 to go. See if his strategy proves smart of trying to short pit. The leader's trying to stretch to lap 80, but is very close. Byron, Blaney, Gibbs, Brad K, all with no gas virtually trying to make this work. Leaders need to run it down and then flip that switch for reserves if you want to, ride the car that close to running out of gas. So there's a reserve tanker, and you got to be careful about when you flip the switch to get over to that bad boy. Big game of chicken right now at this point in the race. Byron finally brings it in. Blaney also. They make it to lap 79, hoping the best case scenario, being lap 80. So that's good. Long stops, gathering a lot of fuel right now. Want to, get ready for a long haul. So all the guys that went to the end of stage 1 now have the advantage. Truex is leading that bunch. Ty Gibbs was the last to cycle through on necessity. Very good job there stretching it. So 11 to go in stage. Order is Larson, Harvick, Jones, Dillon, LaJoie, Burton, Byron, and Bowman. Harvick is the unique one here with his strategy off the beaten path. Larson looking to stretch to the end of the stage. Christopher Bell brings out the caution, though. Lost control off turn 1 all by himself, just got loose. So we'll end stage 2 under caution. Larson was out front. He's going to go to pit road, but they stayed out with the caution. Great for them. We're ready for the final stage now. 62 to go here. This should be exciting to the finish. Green we go. Byron and Blaney out front. Huge push for Blaney. Blaney, Truex, Byron now. Truex can overtake Byron now. So now the order becomes Truex, Byron, Gibbs, Boucher now. Wallace now in the picture. Bowman, Brad K. Let's see what Truex does with this. Hamlin and Harvick racing good and hard. The 7 and the 8 are coming. Here comes Elliott behind them. They're racing, and that's going to let the 9 catch up. Austin Dillon, meanwhile, hard in the turn 1, brings out the caution, just threw that bad boy in the turn 1. Fire under the hood, big wreck. Wow, I mean, he was 11th at that point, but just wow, they were 3 wide into 1. Him and Reddick getting into one another. He threw his helmet at Reddick, basically. Tempers are flaring. There's only 5 to go, 5 races to go at this point. Now this week, there were 6 at that point before the playoffs. And so what we're seeing is guys letting those tempers come out. So we go green again after that big dust up, brouhaha. Truex on the outside, Byron inside. 47 to go now. Hamlin getting frustrated with Harvick. There's still the 7 and the 8. 45 to go at this point in the race. Hamlin trying hard to pass Harvick. Harvick trying to hold him off. Finally passes him on the outside. Waves when he passes him out of some newfound appreciation, right? 39 to go. Let's see who goes to their last stop. 40 to go. Byron, first of the 3 to pit. 37 to go. Hamlin, Harvick, Reddick, Jones, Stenhouse, LaJoie, Gragson, Burton, Almirola, Gilliland at this point. And Larson cycles through with the ridiculously quick pit of 4 seconds. They just take 2 tires. Hamlin is the only one who will be close to him after all these pits cycle through. Keep that in mind. Don't forget that. Now, the leaders are losing a half a second a lap to Hamlin and Larson, even though they are ahead of them. So the order becomes Reddick, Jones, Stackhouse, LaJoie, Burton, Almirola, Gilliland, Yelly, Blaney. All of these teams still need to pit. Larson is 10th. He can now make it to the end. All right, here we go. Business is picking up. Reddick to pit road now. 23 to go. 19 to go. LaJoie up front now. All these guys staying out, just hoping there's a caution, trying to ride it out to the caution when they're out in front. We do finally get this caution. Chase Briscoe turned around on turn 3. And we get a restart inside of 20 laps to go. So Larson and Truex are going to be up front with Truex and Bowman behind them because the rest of these guys have to take it in. So 13 to go, and we're green. Outside line, strong to the start. Ty Gibbs checks it up, though. 3 wide through 2 and 3. That's big excitement. Larson and Truex. Can Larson be perfect? And oh wow, the 48 Bowman spins and brings the caution out. He was running third at the point. It's been a tough year for Alex Bowman. He's trying to make that playoff push. He was running third, and we've had such a break on price on him lately. That sucks for him. Hamlin was close, but he didn't cause anything there. The 48 was just lost it in the corner. No fault to Hamlin. So we go green now. Who wants it? Outside line is strong. 11 in the 5 for the lead. Hamlin takes it, and Haley's 31 brings the caution back out again. This is with 7 to go in the race. Denny does the same thing that he did to Chastain last year. Basically, this sends the 5 into the wall. And the 5 is pissed, and understandably, he just chased him up into the wall. 31 hard hit, tough break. That puts us inside of 5 laps now. Hamlin calling it good hard racing, not saying he's doing anything intentional. There's obviously tempers flaring there. Larson feels differently about it. We're seeing all these guys that are trying to make a move for some sort of position really get testy with one another. Larson and Truex both has designs on this regular season title, still within earshot of, Larson and Hamlin. They're both within earshot of Truex. So they're racing for something here, and I really honestly feel like this is on Hamlin. This is a new style of driving that we're seeing, more aggressive. He has taken to what we see some of these younger guys do now. And you see a lot of tempers flare off the track and during the week. It's just more aggressive. It's just more aggressive driving in NASCAR now, guys, driving it further down into the corner. There's a lot of that, and I really think you've got to get over it and just get on with it. There's no more racing like we used to back in the day. These kids are getting fast and aggressive, and if you don't like it, you know what you can do with it. We are inside 5 to go. Green now. Hamlin out front. Truex behind him. 3 to go. Reddick clears Harvick, and the 41 spins around. No caution. 2 to go. Reddick to the inside for second. Can't get the 41 restarted. That puts Denny Hamlin in the winner's circle. Hamlin, Truex, Reddick to the end. Can't have that car sitting in the road like that, and so you have to call it there. Denny's going to swear everything's on the up and up. You guys saw it. You can tell me exact same move as what he did to Chastain last year. Exact same move. As far as DraftKings go, it doesn't help when you have at least one car DNF that we were counting on. So when you have 2 cars or somebody that you understandably thought was going to be there in the end get knocked around like a 5, like a Larson, that takes what I'm doing out of contention, basically. So we were heavy on him. That takes my best lineup and puts it at a point to where it's hard to break even. We have to do better this Sunday, but that's the chances you take when you play, daily fantasy racing, or you play daily fantasy, for example, like golf, right? You could make a lineup because you have to make a golf lineup for the whole tournament. So you're making this lineup on Thursday. It's got to last you to Sunday. If guys don't make the cut, then you're cooked, right? This is the same sort of a scenario. So we have to go back to the drawing board and try to recreate the success that we were seeing at the beginning of the season, no matter what. And we think about that as we move on to the Cookout 400 at Richmond Raceway. We go to Richmond, Virginia. This is another short track. So they're going to do more short track racing, testing that we couldn't do because of weather last week. But this is a quarter-mile track. Race purse is just over 7.5 milli. Race distance, we're going to go 400 laps or the equivalent of 300 miles. Stage breaks will be at 70, 230, and we'll end at 400, as I said. 5 races left to go, so we're getting down to it. Now, Kyle Larson won both short track races this season on pavement, so that's something to consider. 6 different drivers won the last 6 different Richmond races, though. The driver who has led the most laps won only one of the last 5 short track races, and so something about getting knocked around at the end. Goodyear's bring back the same tire setup that they used at Richmond in the spring. That race, Kyle Larson won. There's a lot of things pointing to Kyle Larson. Is there going to be retribution this week? Richmond is a track where traditionally guys will try to get some revenge. Is that going to happen? Who knows? Kyle Busch will start on the front row with Reddick. These 2 guys have the pole, with Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott 3rd and 4th, and then Bubba Wallace will help round out the top 5. Great qualifying for Bubba. This is not a track that he does traditionally well at. I'm not so high on him this weekend, even though he's got a lot to race for, and they're hoping for a good show. I personally am looking at his track record, and I don't see it, but hopefully he surprises me. The other guy we want to think about as far as Sunday goes is Kevin Harvick. Really good track record at Richmond. Okay, he's won 4 times here, and he won this same race last year. So he's got this incredible roll that he's on. 12 top 10 finishes here in his last 14 starts. 9 top 5s. Got to have Harvick in this lineup, right? I'm very much thinking that. I love having Reddick on the pole. Put those two together. Another guy we want to combine with them is Bowman. Tough break last week, but Bowman finished inside the top 10 in April in this race, and he won the spring race here in 2021. So good history for him here. Hopefully he can recreate some of the magic and get that Hendrick car back into the playoff position. It's been some time since Hendrick didn't at least send 3 cars to try to get the championship. So him and Elliott still on the outside looking in. The other thing to note is Allmendinger is going to start in the rear on Sunday. He's going to miss practice and qualifying because he's at the Xfinity Road Race, which is at Road America. So he'll do that Saturday. He'll miss the qualifying on Saturday in Virginia and then show up in the back of the pack on Sunday. As far as who I like on Sunday, I do like Larson. So much winning history here. He's coming on. He's racing fiery right now. I like Larson. Elliott also, because his back is against the wall. He has done well here. Josh Berry's car, the 9 with Josh Berry in it, did well here in the spring. I think they finished 2nd or 3rd. So that car, that crew, they know what it needs to happen to make it work. They have the better driver now, the guy that should have been in the car barring injury. So really high on Elliott this week. Bowman again for the reasons just stated, and also Harvick. All these guys are attainable salary-wise on DK DraftKings this week, so we want to try to get them in there together. Got to have interest in Bell and Gibbs. Ty Gibbs qualified decently. Christopher Bell also, and Christopher Bell's got a decent history here going back to the spring, so I'm okay with him. McDowell didn't have a bad qualifier. He actually didn't do terrible here in the spring either. Last week, he actually got stage points in the first stage that helped him. He's on the playoff bubble, but he's racing for something. We want a guy who's racing for something. He's only $5,900 this weekend on DraftKings. So putting him in, mixing him with some of the more expensive guys at the top is really going to offset that. We like Reddick, Logano, and Allmendinger. I love Logano here. I think he's a consistent driver, consistent at Richmond. I like what he brings to the table here, and I think he's flying under the radar. He has not been blown out of the water here. I think he finishes here. There's a lot to like here, and nobody's talking about him. I will talk about him. Everybody's moving on the Bowman, who we've been talking about under the radar last couple of weeks. Well, we can stay on him, but our under the radar guy to be sure this week is Logano. Really like him. And Allmendinger is interesting because the car and the team and he are better than the place that they're starting. And so you would expect them to move up. That is what we need on DraftKings. Passing, moving up, plus spots. That is how you gain points in those contests. It's always murky starting in the back with the rascals, as Suarez said last week, the raccoons or whatever he called them, the squirrels or whatever. But I think Allmendinger has the skill and the team to race himself up out of that. So we'll see that happens or not. Also want to call into question, not into question, just want to call to your attention, Priest. Priest, I think, will be a nice salary saver, trying to have a decent part of the year. Not terrible results here. Really hoping to have a solid finish. If he can finish 15, 16, 17, we'll take that. But Priest's also going to help you save salary on DraftKings. And with him, it's just going to be about finishing. I think he can run well the majority of the day. But when it comes down to the end of the second stage and primarily most of the third stage, what do? Do you get boxed around? What's the pitch strategy look like? Can they keep that car in the middle of the pack for the entire duration of the race? If you're him, that's what you got to aim for. If you're Austin Dillon, who I have some interest in, you got to be trying to aim for the top 10. I think that's a little out of what he might be able to do, but you should aim for that. That is how it boils down this week. Guys, enjoy the races. You watching F1, enjoy that. You watching the fights, UFC, boxing, enjoy that. Let's have a great weekend. Good luck if you play DraftKings. We'll come back here next week and talk about what happened, how we did, and where we go from here.